Hey guys, Mike Echols back here again to tell you about social engineering. Social engineering is a very important part of cybersecurity because it is a very important part of hacking. And so, as we go through this course, which is going to be fairly quick, but you're going to get everything that you need, I'm going to help you understand by providing you with an introduction to social engineering, sensitive versus social versus non-sensitive information, types of social engineering framework. So, social engineering is a manipulation technique that exploits human errors to gain private information, access, and valuables. So, for instance, someone will call up pretending to be someone else or using information that they've gained about you to get you to take an action. Um, Attacks can happen online, in person, and via other interactions. Scams that are social engineered are built around how people think and act. So, for instance, I may show up to your office in a uniform that you recognize and request certain information. And because I'm wearing a uniform, you may give me that information when you may otherwise not have done so. So as such, social engineering attacks are especially useful for manipulating user behavior, right? So I walk into a building and I walk with a group of people who work in that building. The security guard may not stop me. That's social engineering. Once an attacker understands what motivates a person, then they can deceive or manipulate the person, right? This happens with email when you're doing it online, right? You receive an email that appears to be from someone you know or from an organization that you're associated with, and you may take an action based on what the email tells you to do. So let's talk more about what is social engineering. The hackers are trying to exploit your lack of knowledge about the tactics that they use. So technology allows them to connect with us in a way that they may not have access. Users always lack a full understanding of the value of their personal data. When there are large breaches, that data is used to form not only identity theft schemes, but to form social engineering attacks about you because they now have data which is personal to you. And if they use that information, you may believe that they are somebody that you should know. Okay? Generally, social engineering attackers have one or two goals. The first is sabotage. They want to disrupt or corrupt data to cause an inconvenience. And then two, and the main reason, they want to obtain valuables like information or access. They're trying to get your password or your access code. So they're trying to get access to something. Typically, it is data. So there are different types of social engineering. Almost every type of cybersecurity attack contains social engineering. All right, so there's the classic email scheme, which I talked about a little while ago. And in those email schemes, they will reach out to you and appear to be someone you know. Maybe you are a member of a gym and they will send you an email and say, we need to get payment or we need to issue you a refund. So can you provide us with your bank account number? That is social engineering because you believe it to actually be your health club. So social engineering can be digitally through computers or through your cell phone. And again, it can be in person by persuading you to believe that they are someone that they are not, or that they represent something that they do not. So here are some common methods used by social engineering professionals. So the phishing attack is the most common. Phishing attacks are when they pretend to be from a trusted institution, like maybe even your bank or your school or your office, or from an individual that you know in an attempt to persuade you to expose personal data or other valuables. Now, they're doing this to gain that information, like your social security number or like your bank account number, so that they can gain access to financial resources. They also do it to gain access to harder to get in places where your credentials are required. So sometimes it's not to get profit from you, but it's to get your credentials, right? Which could lead them to more profit from potentially your employer. There are two types of attacks that are more prevalent. One is the spam phishing. This is when they send out email to everyone, just waiting to see who will respond. And the next one is spear phishing. Now, the spear phishing, they know who you are. And we also have a term called whaling. Whaling is when you are a big fish. And they are attempting to get specific information from you so that they can use that to gain access by using your credentials or have enough information to pretend to be you. So that's the introduction and the first lesson on social engineering. Come back to course number 2 and we'll continue this discussion. This is Mike Echols.